There's one person that I was talking to about something, business thing, and they were trying to like pitch themselves in something to me, and they talked so much. I almost just said no purely because they could not shut the fuck up. I would ask a question and they could not be succinct. They could not give me an answer that was one sentence. It had to be 3 paragraphs. And I was like, this meeting is taking an hour and I've only asked you 4 questions. Like, what? I was like, no. Didn't have an elevator pitch? No, they did. This was aside from that. This was just me asking some questions. And I was like, bro, I can't. They think talking a lot and explaining a lot, first of all, they think that makes them look smart. It doesn't. Second, it wastes my time and it makes me feel like they don't value my time. I don't know. I was like, I don't like this. I really appreciate people who can clutch it up, be succinct for a second, That does not work in corporate. That's the thing, right? It tells me that this person would not survive. If I threw this person into a corporate environment, if I threw them in front of a bunch of people in suits and I said, I can't be here, can you talk to them about X thing? They could not. They would specifically unimpress in that environment. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, oh shit. Like, it sounds as simple as like, oh, I didn't like that they talked a lot, but it actually like means a lot of bad, So I don't know. Yeah, they just couldn't get to the point, man. They couldn't. Being succinct feels like such a learned skill. It is. And it told me that they haven't learned that skill, And I was like, oh fuck. That's not good. Corpos, yappers, have you ever met a scrum master? Yeah, have you met a good scrum master who doesn't talk too much? Holy fuck. Golden individual. Amazing. No, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. There's I get it. I get it. Every senior leader you've had experience with this past 10 years was just word fluff. I'm so sorry, man. I can't. And I get impatient with people. And I warn people beforehand, hey, if you're going to work with me, when we do meetings, I'm giving you a pass to do this to me, and I'm going to do this to you. If I need you to hurry it the fuck up, if I need you to summarize this in 2 sentences, you're saying too much. I need to be able to, in the middle of you talking, be like, too long, bullet point, just to keep shit going. Like, I need to be able to do that. And I tell people you have full permission to do that to me as well, right? And we get like a mutual agreement, like we're going to do this to each other, just that stuff moves along so we don't waste each other's time. But sometimes I tell people that and they just can't. They just physically cannot. They don't know how. And I can't do it. I genuinely cannot do it. It's the worst. Wrap it up mechanic. 100%. Yeah, it's better like that they say something that's incomplete and then you ask them to expand upon a couple of things, or you ask a couple specific questions and then they only have to answer the part you don't get. Right? It is so much more effective. So much more effective. Being succinct, a skill you have to go out of your way to learn, is something you picked up naturally. Both. My mother's a little bit too verbose. She can clutch it up when she needs to, though. She can turn that switch on, but with me, she doesn't, right? She does not with her own children. So she's way too verbose. And I would have to ask her to wrap it up, which I hate doing to my own mother, but I'd be like, hey, I'm getting out of this car in 5 minutes. Like, you gotta finish this story within that, and you're clearly 10% of the way through, So I'd have to, like, remind her. On the other hand, my dad is really good at speaking succinctly. My grandparents, especially on his side, few words. Why say lot word when few do trick? They're the masters of condensing this down. All my grandparents were kind of like that. They could condense this shit down into like the most effective 2 sentences ever. So I got both of it, so I can code switch. But if you want to learn it, you want to get better at being succinct, it's very simple. Read a Wikipedia article. Go to a Wikipedia article about anything and read a section. Maybe there's like a history section and it gives you like 2 paragraphs about like someone's childhood, right? Read that to yourself, turn to the side, pretend you're talking to somebody like a crazy person, and summarize it. 3 sentences. If you have to, type it, but try to do it without letting yourself proofread and fix your words, because you want to be able to do it quickly. Do that over and over and you'll get better at it. Done. It's like flashcards. Read a passage, summarize it. Read a passage, summarize it. And you'll get better and better and better. And then as you do that, just try to like do it in person a little more. Just say to yourself, you know what? I've decided I'm going to be a listener. I'm going to be a listener. I'm going to tell someone what I think briefly and leave more space for them to talk. Go talk to someone who kind of is a yapper. so they don't feel weird when you don't talk as much. And give them the best sentence of your life, best condensed down sentence instead of a paragraph of your life, and let them go. Just let them talk. But it's just like being conscious of yourself while you're talking. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do, man. You said I have the opposite problem. Sometimes it's needed to fluff things up and I cannot do that well. It's the same exercise, but backwards. Think of the thing you want to say and then try to expand upon it. You literally have to just sit there and try and do it. For you, is dialing back the nuance? Yeah. One of my brothers in particular is just so verbose. And I don't know what it is, but he cannot possibly not give you every bit of nuance. And he has to tell you in dialogue form what someone said. And he says because and then explains why all the time when telling a story. He'd be like, so I said this because, I didn't want him to think this because then it would lead to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, you could have said, so I said this, and I could have inferred that because I'm not stupid, and I know you, right? But even if I say wrap it up, he just keeps talking. He actually can't, focus in. He just can't do it. And he just talks and talks and talks. And I'm like, man, he just can't clutch it up. Because he has no practice doing it. Because he's always just been verbose and he's never worried about being succinct, I hate when people say the same thing over and over, but a bit differently. You get what I mean? I do that sometimes. It's important to be able to do that if you're teaching, for example. So there are times when that's really good, but it just depends. You have a friend that talks like he's a main story quest NPC from 14. Yeah, I used to be a lot more succinct when talking in general, and then because of streaming, I've learned to just let more of the nuance come through. I could do both at this point, but I have to think about which one I'm doing a little bit, to kind of let it happen. One of my other brothers, he started doing this only in the last 5 years. When I talk to him, I think it's because of his work and everything, but when I talk to him, if I say, I'm telling him something about my life. How's work been? Oh, it's been good. I did this and then that. As I finish a thought, I go, oh yeah, I did this. He'll go, oh, because blah, blah, and he'll explain it back to me to make sure he has it right. But it ends up him just being saying what I was going to say and just yapping. And I'm like, yep, you got that right. He just says so much. He says so much. So I'll be sitting there and I'll go, oh yeah, I streamed, and I was thinking of playing this game, but I decided to not play it on stream because it's, not the best for watching. And he'll be like, yeah, because, it's not really something where you could talk much over it. You probably have to think a lot. And I assume you could blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. So I played this instead. It's, it's a bit better for them to view. And he'll be like, yeah, because, it's one of those games where there's so much going on visually. It probably captures it. And I'm like, yep. We both knew that. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah, he's extrapolating. And I'm like, yep, we both understood this point. Thank you for verbalizing it to fill the air. He does it a lot. I think some people do it. Everyone does that somewhat. He just does it with literally everything I say. And he used to not do this as much, but I think whatever, work he's been doing, I think he has to do it to other people to make sure he's got them right, because I think they need him to do that. And now he's used to it. He is trying to show he cares and is paying attention. He is, which is why I don't tell him to shut the fuck up. I just go, yep, you got that right. And I just let him do it. It does drive me insane, but I am a patient person. And true happiness is when you breathe and exist in the present or something. Combo, right? Yeah, wanting people to clean their rooms is an obsession. You're so right. How could I? Get off my back, Mom. Jeez, let me live in silica. I want that silica in my lungs, actually.